And we are back for the pick ban for game 2 between Feed the Dream and Same Strategies here. Feed the Dream able to take game 1 at the end of the day, but Same Strategies was knocking at the door.
Yeah, Same Strategies definitely pushed them in the early game, but come that bottom tower dive and then around 19 minutes, that turn top, it was just Feed the Dream's game.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
very
And
decisive.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying they were very decisive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now we're getting into these bans here for the first rotation of game 2. We got Ziggs, Fiddlesticks, and Echo for Feed the Dream. That is the same 3 that they banned in game 1. And for Same Strategies, Kindred, Diana, Teemo. That Teemo again is going to be the ban loss for E-subs. And yeah, same bans all the way over across the board from game 1. Tristana will be the first pick for Feed the Dream.
We're gonna see the salty run back, but they swap champions.
Yeah,
So-
well, we're getting the salty run back. Everything so far is the same from game 1.
You know, true. And we can see where they opt to go from here. We saw the Kaiser Viego last game, but is Joe, being the E-sub for this team, confident enough to bring out that Viego?
I mean, this is where you got to show it. You know, this is your time to shine if you're Joe. So you got to pop off here. Shen going to be the lock in. The first pick for Same Strategies in that top lane. I think Shen is a pretty solid blind pick. You know, it's easy to pick. You can survive on it. You have the ultimate that can help the rest of your team. And, you know, you shouldn't really be getting punished too hard.
You know, we saw how impactful. Why am I blanking? We saw how impactful Tamed was on the Kennen in that first game. So even if Slushy Snow doesn't smash lane, it gives them that baseline level of effectiveness in the game, having the Channel. And we do see a Sivir locked in.
I am interested in this because Sivir Ricochet actually did get buffed recently. So the damage from Ricochet does 100%. I think it's 100% of damage instead of like whatever it was nerfed before. So that'll be interesting to see here. But for Feed the Dream, they're going to lock in a Leona for a very powerful, very heavy engage bottom lane.
Yeah, and for Sivir, you can only really spell shield one thing, so you still are in a bit of danger being immobile. So Sivir and Old Sad Boy Summer definitely need to play carefully.
Viego for Merit again, likely.
Very scary. And what's the new response going to be coming out from Same Strategy? Are they going to pick the Volibear here again? Were they happy enough with it? Or are they going to pick something else here, pick a support counter pick, and then just save it till second ban phase? But then you do risk the chance that you're going to get banned out.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the Volibear, honestly, for Joe in game 1.
Good work. Because I called it out early. 8 out of 9 KP was doing work, getting around.
Mm-hmm. Yes, was definitely putting in work there. But instead, we are going to get the support counter pick. Rel going to be the option here for Snowflower in this bottom lane.
Rel fell out of flavor for a while, but has slowly come back. And I mean, I really like it. I think especially with so many people complaining about how strong shields are. Obviously, your team has none yet. The route Q does shield break. So it does a lot of work there. So it definitely helps with that.
I like Rel. I think it's interesting paired up with a Sivir though, just because like
bit of different. Oh, how do you call it?
Varying play styles. Yeah, play styles. But we'll see how that plays out here in this bottom side for game 2. But for now, mid lane bans are coming out across the board for everyone. Asol and Yasuo taken off the table, as well as the Akali, and then Nocturne, and a snap pick from a snap Kennen pick for Same Strategies, and I'd imagine that has to go in the mid lane.
I figure as much, unless we see something real wonky with like a Shen jungle.
Shen?
River Shen? You can see how FTD chose to adapt. Interestingly enough, they did leave the Aurelia open, which is the only differing ban in this entire ban phase. But still, with the insta-cannon lock, I'm fairly certain we're not going to see that, though. I might still be surprised with the Shen jungle, the River Shen.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, we're seeing that mid lane got blind picked, and they're leaving counter pick for jungle. Same strategies. At least that's what we think so far. Malphite going to be the option for Feed the Dream. But
And
does that seem weird to you?
I mean, it's not like the super best matchup, especially if it is something like a Shen jungle and you're up against the Kennen. But I mean, it
No,
does
I
give
mean
up.
I'm talking about saving counter
Oh,
pick for jungle.
yeah, that's weird.
And you
That's
already
weird.
see their jungle. Like you don't even like you already see the
Yeah.
Viego locked in. So it's just um interesting draft plan coming out for same strategies. We'll see what the last pick is for Feed the Dream. The Nasus locked in. So I believe this is gonna be a Malphite mid.
That's nuts.
That is
I
gonna be
haven't seen
wild.
Nasus in so long.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild for sure. But I would imagine that means that Malphite is gonna be put into that mid lane. Nasus in the top lane against the Shen. And what do you think about the Nasus versus Shen matchup?
I mean, Shen does have the W to try to mitigate some of Nasus damage, but Nasus will just scale better. And I mean, who's going to match a Nasus on your team?
Yeah.
Who's gonna stop a Nasus on the side lane that's not gonna get popped in 2 Qs?
I mean, Shen will not get popped in 2, but maybe like 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, but Jin Zhao going to be the last pick for same strategies. That pick is going to go into the jungle, and I feel like we saw this matchup a lot. The Jin Zhao versus Viego.
Yeah,
Today.
This is a popular one in LCS for sure. And I mean, of course, it can go either way. That's why people like to pick it. But the Xin Zhao, I feel Xin Zhao actually has a super hard time playing this game.
Yeah, it's hard to get in just because of the tankiness.
And you can fight Tristana, maybe Viego.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's very there's very tanky composition built up for Feed the Dream. So Jin Zhao, who wants to feast on those squishy targets in the early game, might not have too many opportunities.
Yeah, and I mean, both of these teams don't look like they have a lot of damage at all.
Yeah, I mean, Feed the Dream has Tristana Viego, and you're gonna need to wait 30 minutes before the Nasus actually starts to do things. And either way, like Nasus is just gonna be splitting on the side for the most part, I imagine. So it is interesting to see. Same strategies has Sivir, Kennen, and Jin Zhao. I mean, it's just depending on the snowball, right? And I'm trying to figure out if we expect to see the crit Sivir back just because of those, new buffs, or if we're gonna get a lethality Sivir.
I mean, lethality should do no damage against
Yeah.
Leona, Malphite,
Yeah.
Nasus. But even with 4 melees, I feel it still should be hard to do damage as Sivir because you're always at risk of the Leona ult or Malphite ult. You don't have mobility.
There's too many things that you have to look to spell shield. Pretty much is the situation that we're in. You have Viego stun, you have Leona stun, you have Malphite ult. I mean, you have like 16 Leona stuns. You have the Malphite unstoppable force. Like, there's just so many things that old Sad Boy Summer has to worry about in this game, and it seems pretty hard, honestly.
Okay, but consider this for a moment.
Okay, I'm considering.
Sad Boy Summer only has the one E, only can block the one thing. Sure. But what can absorb a lot of things is a Zhonya's.
Okay.
No, full Zhonya's.
Full Zhonya's.
In Sivir Q, 60% AP ratio.
Oh, maybe it's the AP Sivir angle.
Sorry, 50%. Even better.
You're lying to me.
Should we see the AP Sivir here?
No. I hope not.
But I think, honestly, I think just a Zhonya's could be fine for the Sivir.
Yeah, at
most.
I agree.
Absolute most.
Stopwatch could be the Aang. Zhonya's could be the Aang. I've been seeing a lot of people build Zhonya's on non-AP champions recently,
Anyone with AP scalings, like I know Freak did a video on this or has talked about it at least. A lot of the time, like on these ADCs, it's still worth it to just get his Zhonya's.
Yeah. It's a very interesting like mechanic that's come up where just people are buying Zhonya's on 80 carries. What do you think about it?
I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense, especially if you're able, like a Varus or somebody that has like those pretty decent AP ratios.
Yeah.
Like even a Kaisa, like it's worth it. I mean, you get that type of utility is unmatched, and even in an Euphoria episode, Riot Jag was talking to Kadril and Dracos, and they talked about a lot about this exact thing, how Zanya's super strong, and just like we have, obviously there was a League of Stopwatch in which everybody took the stopwatch rune, but even just buying the stopwatch, like those 2.5 seconds can be so pivotal,
Yeah.
and against teams that aren't super properly coordinated, like those 2.5 seconds can eat up so many abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. It can really make or break a team fight, and just a simple, 650 gold purchase can, turn the game on its head, get your team the team fight victory, and then eventually the game. So definitely something to look forward to here. I guess we'll see how that build adapts into the game as we move on to the Rift.
Can I point out
We're now
something
in the
real quick?
spectator delay. Yeah, go ahead, point something out.
Church of Aesol, the mid laner for Feed the Dream, is on the Nasus.
Yes.
We see Tamed on the Malphite in the top lane. I think this is better matchups for the both of them, I believe.
Yeah.
But do you think this means we'll see an AP Nasus?
I think it could mean. I mean, we already talked about how there's no damage for Feed the Dreams composition, and especially not AP. Magic damage. I don't imagine that. Actually, we could be seeing AP Malphite but that's probably more likely if it went mid.
Okay, I'm doing a little spying on Church of Aesol's match history.
Yeah,
It
have you
does
found
seem
anything
like
for us?
they played 4 games of Aesol and ranked.
That's good. That's
Went
that's
top each
good
game
news.
and
Oh,
went Sunderer.
wow.
And in 3 of the 4 games built Hullbreaker.
Wow.
First item
That's
even in, or wait, what? This one game wasn't Anthem.
Anathemas, Ryan's
Anathema's
chains.
chains, Ryan's chains into the Hullbreaker.
That
So
is an interesting. So build adaptations galore for
exactly,
Church of
that's what we'll
Aesop.
call it.
We'll see what comes out in this game here, but we are going to take a short delay so that we can get through the spectator delay, and we will be back on the Rift in a few short minutes for game 2 between Feed the Dream and Same Strategies. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.